Om Sadashiva-samārambhām Shankarācārya-madhyamām Asmadācārya-paryantām Vande Guru-paraṁparām Guru Brahma Guru Vishnu Guru Devo Maheswara Guru Sakshat Param Brahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahano Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahi Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahi Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. So in the last class we were talking that whatever you may do, vadantu शास्त्राणि यजन्तु देवान् कुर्वन्तु कर्माणि भजन्तु देवताः आत्मैकबोधेन विना विमुक्तिः न सिद्ध्यति ब्रह्म शतान्तरेपि. So even if you take bath 1,000 times in different kalpas along with the Brahmaji, but remember, you are not going to be free from yourself. Because the causal body will keep continuing. Even if you are very proficient in scripture, even if you are worshipping regularly a great devotee, and of course you are doing a lot of rituals, Vedic rituals, or you are doing a lot of sankirtanam or bhajanam of devatas, different devatas. But remember, without understanding one's own self, atmika bodhena vina. So without understanding yourself, you are not going to realize yourself either. Okay? Now if this is the question, now we have to see the verse number 9. So while discussing this point, now he says beautifully, actually somehow if you manage to reach a teacher that we saw in the verse number 8, that the person ataha vimuktehi prayatena vidvan samyasta bahyartha sukaspuvasam santam mahantam samupetya deshikam tenopadishtartha samahitatma. So that means the person has got certain maturity, and with the maturity the person understands very clearly that I need to approach a teacher, and not only approaching a teacher, getting tuned to the teaching. Because if I don't get tuned to the teaching, definitely teaching is not going to do its job. As we discussed, and also many times we have seen, if there is a parallel thinking, the teaching continues in one way, I am also continuing in my way, and once in a while I make a bridge. Whatever is convenient with my thinking, I adopt that much teaching. Whatever is not convenient, okay, I leave it. Then that is not going to help either. That we saw very carefully in the last verse. While discussing, in fact, then he tries to say, look, this maybe is one of the reason of people get dropped on the way. And this is one of the obstacles in life. And how this is obstacle and how people get dropped, this point is being highlighted in the verse number 9. Let us look at. Uddharit atmanatmanam magnam samsara varidho yōgārūḍhatvam asadya samyak darshana nishtaya. Uddharit atmanatmanam magnam samsara varidho yōgārūḍhatvam asadya samyak darshana nishtaya. Now, if you look at what is to be done here is, the person himself has to uddharete atmanam atmanam. This is beautiful. In many places comes, in Bhagavad Gita comes, in Upanishads, any places comes. So one has to uplift one's own self. Because unless I decided to uplift myself, nobody is going to uplift myself either. It's like, unless I help myself, nobody is going to help me or myself. The story goes, we have plenty of stories regarding this, okay? one day this Vishnu and Lakshmi. You know, there is a very beautiful saying, always the devotees of Vishnu are always poor. I don't know how they create this story, okay. Vishnu's devotees will be rich always. But I don't know, this story always goes that Vishnu's devotees are very poor. Daridra Brahmana, another word is there always. Daridra Brahmana has to be a Daridra poor. I don't know why this sort of language comes, okay. Let me not talk. So one day, this a devotee was very poor, of course devoted to Vishnu. Then Lakshmi said, look, this is not right. He is so much devoted to you, why can't you give something? As usual, Vishnu smiled, because it's not time to give. Why to bother? No, please. Maybe you are not giving, that's why things are not happening. Vishnu said, look, I have tried, I know nothing is going to happen. Then as usual, mother could not keep quiet. Look, I am going to try, I am going to help him. Let us see what is not going to happen. Vishnu smiled, okay, if you want to do something, let us see what is wrong in it. Try. So, mother's compassion, what she did is like made a lot of gold and other things. So in a bag, so put on, when he was working, just put in front of him, so that he will stumble upon and he will take it and he will be rich. Now when this bag was being kept on his way, this fellow, one thought came to him, hey look, how the blind people walk. How do they manage walking? So what he did, he closed his eyes and started walking. And of course, he crossed that bag full of gold and whatnot. Then Vishnu said, didn't you see this point? I have tried all the method, nothing. But don't worry, he will get back when he is supposed to get back. That's why we say there is a beautiful saying. Result never comes quickly. And once result comes, you cannot stop it. It's like exactly the arrow that is being released from the bow. So once it is released from the bow, it has to either hit the target or hit something. If nothing happens, the arrow will break down or fall down halfway. So also the result. But the problem is sometimes we are impatient of the result. So when we are impatient of result, so we feel now result is not coming. Nothing is happening. So in life, everything will happen on its way. It is matter of my maturity or patience. So when you see the maturity and patience, you see things will get unfolded on its way. That's why it says, Uddharete atmanam atmanam. Uddharet atmana atmanam. So one need to learn to uplift oneself. So that means my mind, through my mind, I need to uplift myself. Okay, fine. And how? Says beautiful that when the person is magnam sansara varidhu, so the one who is magna, immersed, getting drowned, where? In the samsara varidhu, is a very beautiful word comes. Varidhi means ocean. So we say varidhi means where lot of, this water is there. So and the samsara means this creation where we live is considered as the ocean. And in the ocean, always what you do? You are always getting drowned. So what is explanation? How? Because samsara means what? Is not this creation, please understand. That which keeps changing. So what is the cause of samsara? The cause of samsara is sense of becoming. You understand? So as long as there is sense of becoming predominant in me, some form or other, so that makes me drain my energy. Can you see this point? Whenever there is sense of becoming predominant in me, my energy somehow or other gets drained. And this sense of becoming being the samsara, now the person is drowned and that person has to rescue, lift up one's own self, not anybody. And how it can happen? Says this is the point. He says the person has to be yōgārūḍhatvam. So yōgārūḍhatvam means, please understand, means the one who is well established with conviction and practice. The person has to have the qualification. Because suppose the person comes in contact with the teacher, tuned with the teacher and teaching, but never practices, there is no abhyasa, there is no conviction. That's why he says, asadhya samyak darshana nishtaya. So that means what? Through beautifully samyak darshana and nishtha, through the knowledge and commitment towards the knowledge. So the person has to develop this yōgārūḍha a state where the person has some practice and also conviction. Remember, at the end of the day, your conviction matters to you. Because if you are not convinced, the words of the teacher will not work. Yes, it will work as long as you have trust, you have sādhā in teacher. Suppose the sādhā, that itself is challenged. So you are nowhere. The whole practice that you have done will go to ducks. We say, back to the square. Again, you have to start from the scratch. Whether you have strength to start or not, that's another question. If you have strength to start means that means some grace is there. If you don't have strength to start, that means you are out. You are completely destroyed. So whereas along with that, if there is your yōgārūḍha, you start practicing and you have your conviction, you establish conviction with the teaching. Then you discover that the sense of becoming, that's the most important aspect in life. The sense of becoming will be weaker. Because in whole life when we look at the sense of becoming in me, in whichever format, in whichever way I am, if the sense of becoming becomes stronger and stronger in me, that only creates all sort of disturbances in my life. Nothing else. Not the people, not the situation, not anything. Please understand. It is only my sense of becoming. So that's why it says to manage my sense of becoming, or I would rather say to weaken, to loosening the sense of becoming, I need to practice. The practice must continue along with the teaching. I cannot afford to be a mechanical person. That's why when it talks this thing, then of course that person will be able to what? Help one's own self when the person is getting drowned. Okay, then what is to be done? He says, look, next verse, let us look at. Sanyasya sarva karmani bhavabandha vimuktaye yatatam panditei dhirei atmabhyasa upastitei. Sanyasya sarva karmani bhavabandha vimuktaye yatatam panditei dhirei atmabhyasa upastitei. He says, look, what he should do is, a panditaha and a dhira. He uses the two words, okay? Actually, both are almost one and same. So pandita means panda yasya asti, the one who has knowledge. So you can say a learned person. Whereas dhira means whose buddhi is steady, is stable. So not only the learned person, also who has patience, who allows the discriminative power to take over at any given situation. Because many times what happens, we say, after thief goes away, we wake up. After everything is over, like we are police, okay? Especially in Indian police, okay? After everything is over, police arrives. So that is a very beautiful joke one fellow says. What happened now? I called 900. Why did you call 900? You should call 100 in India. Why 90? 900 or 901? 901. Why did you call 901? Because I know Indian police will never come on time. That's why I called American police, so that they will be on the time. Coming back to the point. So here we make it very clear that Pandita and Dhira, having knowledge and allowing the discriminative power to take over, or discriminative faculty to be predominant at any given situation. So that is what called Dhira. Now it says Dhirehi Panditehi, the learned, and of course the one who is matured. What they do? They do that Atma Abhyasa. They do Abhyasa. They do practice. And practice with reference to what? With reference to one's own self. To see, to understand one's own self. And how do they do? Yeah, we all are doing that. Some abhyasa or other. No. Look how it says. Prior to that, what you need to do? Sanyasya sarva karmani. Because the problem with all of us is we don't have time to look at ourselves. And whenever we have time, we are either tired or we are tied down. Can you see this point? Either we are tired mentally, physically, or we are tied down. Some way or other we are occupied. And because we are occupied, now we don't have time to practice, to understand or to rediscover myself. In fact, all my practice is related to re-establish myself. Can you see this point? All my practice, all my effort is not to rediscover myself, to re-establish myself. So when I say re-establish myself means what? Whatever notion I have, whatever conclusion I have, whatever habits I have, whatever, now some way or other, some form or other, that should continue with me. Can you see this point? A common person, whatever does, all the practices is related to what? To re-establish one's own self. So here we are talking not to re-establish one's own self, but to rediscover one's own self. Now if this is the case, then how to do this? He says, Sanyasya sarva karmani. Because, please understand, the karma that we do, the action that we do, always is prompted by desire. And desire is nothing because of ignorance. And ignorance is nothing that I am limited. I am limited conclusion is nothing, I am insecure. These are the consequences, nothing else. Now that means whatever action I do is prompted by that I am limited. So that means when I want to re-establish myself, some form or other, do I reconfirm the notion that I am limited or not? Yes, I become a sophisticated limited person. Can you see this point? Earlier I was ordinary limited person. Now I am a sophisticated limited person. I was an ordinary person. Now I am a Swami person. You know, I am a Swami now. Earlier I was a poor person. Now I am a rich person. Earlier I was like something, now, no, nothing, sorry. Earlier I was nothing, now I am something. This is the difference. So that's why it is being said very carefully. Sanyasya sarva karmani. Make sure that any action that pushes you because of your desire, try to renounce. And of course, for what sake? Bhavabandha vimuktai. For the liberation, making yourself free from the bondage of life. Because when you are being pushed by your desire and you do any action, that karma has to bring karma phala. That karma phala is nothing, again another karma. Again you are being caught with karma and karma phala chain. What in short we call as action and reaction chain. So when one is caught with this, definitely that person cannot do anything. That's why what happens? Here a learned person, that to a man of discrimination, must learn to grow out of, give up, or really renounce all the action that is motivated by the desires, and start spending time not to re-establish one's own self, but to rediscover one's own self. Then of course thereby the person attains freedom from the bondage of birth and death. In fact, becomes free from one's own self. Okay? Oh, if this is the case, then why all these actions? Why do we spend lot of time, lot of things? Don't you think that all these are waste? Please understand, nothing is waste. This verse number 11 is a very popular verse. In fact, we quote left, right. This is one of the key verse. You must have heard me quoting many times. Let us look at this verse number 11. Citasya suddhaye karma natu vastu palabdhaye vastu siddhir vicārena na kinchit karma kotivi. This is a very favorite verse, okay? Citasya suddhaye karma. In fact, we take only first line. Citasya suddhaye karma natu vastu palabdhaye. This much we take it. Second one, vastu siddhir vicārena na kinchit karma kotivi. So this is the relationship between karma yoga and jnana. This verse. That's why this particular verse is highly quoted by any Vedantin. So we never spare, we never leave this verse anywhere, okay? We quote. So what he says? Look, karma has to bring karma phala. So what is the job of the karma phala? Karma phala job is not to make you to re-establish, but to make your mind to settle down. Can you see this point? In short, karma phala must give you the comfort. And he puts it very nicely. Citasya suddhaye karma. So all karma, as you know, karmas are divided into three categories. One is kaika, physical, vachika, oral, and manasika, mental. So kaika karma, puja, any Vedic ritual, or any action, even if working on your field, or cleaning temple or anything. All this comes under kaika karma, physical. And of course, Ishwara has to be there. Without Ishwara, karma, it cannot be karma yoga. That's another aspect. Let it not get into. Then vachika, oral, chanting mainly. That is called vachika. And mental is meditation. Is called manasika karma. Now when you look at all these three karma, these three karma's job is to purify the mind. Citasya suddhaye karma. Or you can use the word purification means what? Not allowing the likes and dislikes to take away your mind. It's not that you have to take a detergent and clean it, okay? Rub it. Here is not allowing the likes and dislikes to take over you. Because if you do not do the karma, you will not know whether your likes and dislikes are taking over you or not, because your likes and dislikes will never get challenged. It is like, I am very comfortable. Why? I am alone. Stay with somebody 1 day, 2 days. I want to see how comfortable you are. So if you staying with somebody for some time, if you say, I am comfortable, that means really something is good. Swami said, I am very comfortable. I am very accommodative. How? Because I stay alone. Let somebody come and stay with you. Or forget stay with you. How? That is better, okay? Let somebody come and stay with you. How you will accommodate? I want to see you. Hey, it's my personal space. Give me my space. It's not a joke, okay? That is why people fight for it, okay? The moment they discover their personal space is being encroached, that is how the whole relationship breaks. Relationship breaks not because of anything. It's because of encroachment of personal space, okay? However, let me not get into that mode today. Chittasya suddhaya karma. So the karma, the action, definitely takes care of the purification of mind. But remember, not to vastu palabdhaye, not to understand the vastu me. So that means any sort of action is not going to make me understand myself, including any meditation. Because meditation also comes under karma. Job of the meditation is to settle down my mind. Raga and dvesa comes down. Mind becomes available. In short, all these things are only to purify my mind, so that mind will be available for me or teaching. But any sort of action is not going to make me to understand myself. Why? He says, look, vastu siddhir vicārena. The vastu me is already established. The me is happiness, is already. I don't have to create happiness. Me is freedom, is already. I don't have to make myself free. Because if I have to make myself free in some way, through some means, again that freedom will go away or not? If I make myself happy through some means, will that happiness come to an end or not? Because whatever is created in time will be destroyed in time. So that means it is me that I have happiness, it is vastu siddhi, it is established. That me freedom is already established. So I don't have to break my head with reference to that. Because it is established, what I need to do? I need to do vicāra. Vicārena. So I need to do the analysis. The discriminative analysis is a must to understand myself. So that means to understand myself, I need discriminative analysis, not karma. That's why he says, na kinchit karma kotivihi. Not by any means of, or any sort of action, even if course of action, karma kotivihi, millions of actions. So that means any sort of action is not going to make me understand. Yes, by action I may be a better person, I may be a sophisticated person, but still I will be an ignorant. Can you see this point? I was earlier, we say very nicely, that's a beautiful of saying, they say, the person who does not know, the person who does not have any means is uncomfortable. And of course, when the person does not understand one's own self, also uncomfortable. So that means the person who does not know and does not have any means, we call that person uncomfortably uncomfortable. I am playing with the words, okay? Uncomfortably uncomfortable. Whereas the person who does not know but has got means, because you have means, you are comfortable. So second level is what? Uncomfortably comfortable. Deep within you are uncomfortable, but externally you are comfortable because you have means. Now between these two options, uncomfortably uncomfortable and uncomfortably comfortable, which one you will prefer? Which one you will choose? Better to be uncomfortably comfortable than uncomfortably uncomfortable. So we people, without thinking, we go for to become comfortable, to make myself comfortable. Later on, after me being comfortable externally, then still I discover there is void, there is emptiness, there is some type of craving in me. And of course, right time, the helplessness in me pops up. So that's why it's been highlighted very nicely and carefully. The karma gives you, karma phala, makes you comfortable. But it does not make you to understand yourself that being uncomfortable, that the basic problem that we have, that never goes by karma. So you become a sophisticated person, but you never become a wise person. You will have knowledge of many things, but definitely you will not be aware or sure of about yourself either. That's why this particular verse is highly quoted to be remembered. Okay, you are very good, very tough, but please little calm down. It's not right. And especially whenever you see this sort of verses, you are very tough. Please understand, this is what my job. What can I do? However, let's look at the next verse. Samyak vicārata siddha rajutatvavadharana brantodita maha sarpaha bhaya dukkha vinashini. Beautiful verse. Samyak vicārata siddha rajutatvavadharana brantodita maha sarpaha bhaya dukkha vinashini. He says, look, samyak vicārata. So you need to do not ordinary vichara, samyak vichara. How and why? He gives the beautiful point. So if there is a bhranti, so bhranti means delusion. And why? Because of raju tattva avadharana. There is a rope lying down, and you are not able to see the truth, or you are not able to see the rope. Then what happens? Because you are not able to see the rope, now what happens? There is bhayam, there is dukkha, there is fear, and that fear leads all sort of affliction in you, worries and anxieties. And of course, what happens? You consider, you look at that rope is called mahasarpa, uditam mahasarpa. Now the length of rope becomes the length of snake. Can you see this point? Now he says, look, because of the lack of understanding, you are not able to really see the rope as it is. That's why there is a Brahma there is a confusion, there is a delusion in you. And because of the delusion, you come to a conclusion that there is a snake. And the snake, color and form, the length, everything is equal to the rope size and color. Now because of which there is dukkham, there is bhayam. In fact, because of bhayam, there is dukkham. That's why I have seen in many cases, a cobra will be coming, a child who does not know what is snake, what is cobra, will play with the cobra. Mother will faint, but child will be happily playing it, because the child doesn't have any fear with real snake. And remember, wherever there is fear, why fear comes is another point. Wherever there is fear, there is dukkha. And fear is nothing, the sense of loss. I don't want to lose. So because of the sense of fear, please understand, now there is lot of pain in the person. And that pain is nothing called dukkha. Now he says, how it can be taken away? He says, raju tattva avadharana. By understanding, by ascertaining the truth of rope. Not to get rid of the snake, not to do mental meditation. Oh, snake, go away, snake, go away, snake, go away, snake should not do anything. Now I am being protected. Om astikaya namaha, Om astikaya namaha. That is a mantra, okay? Please understand. If you remember Astika Rishi, very nicely, incidentally I would like to say, if you remember Astika Rishi, you will be never bitten by a snake. So that is a beautiful way of understanding, because incidentally I would like to say why and how. When there is a sarpa marana yaga, so to make sure that all the snake to be destroyed. In fact, it happened here in Uttar Pradesh. There is a place called Morna. So where Takshaka, the final snake, was supposed to come, and finally it was being stopped, because Astika Rishi understood, okay, if everything happens, that means it will be destroyed. So he could protect the snake family. So from that day onwards, it is being said, if anybody utters the name of Astika Rishi, that moment the snake cannot bite the person. And I have seen practically, if there is a snake bhayam, chant the Rishi's Astika name, Astikaya Nama or Astika, whatever. So it really takes care.